Hi everyone. So the topic for today's discussion is group dynamics, which is very important aspect when we talk about the organizational behavior. We all are aware by now that when the people are working for an organization, they themselves are individual, but they work in the group. So the theme of today's discussion is group dynamics. We'll discuss about the group, what is group, then what is dynamic, and what is the group dynamic, how and why individual join the group. There are certain reasons behind it. There are different types of group. When we talk about the formal group or informal groups, that also we'll discuss. As well as we will also try to find out the stages or the steps those are involved in the formation of the group. So, dear students and fellow friends, when we talk about the group, we all are aware that group consists of two or more persons. Those are working together for common goal. And of course, when we talk about the group, these two or more individuals, those are working together for a common goal. They work together and they interact with each other, and as such these individuals, those are working together, they are the member of the groups. When we talk about the dynamic term, say this dynamic word, basically it's a word which is related to the related to the Greek terminology, or it is a Greek word which means the force. So when we talk about dynamic says something attitude and behavioral characteristics of a group, that how a group behave, how a group interact with others, not only interact with others, rather even among themselves. So when we define the group dynamic, it is concerned with the interaction of forces among group members in a social situation. Dear friends, let me just tell you again, when we talk about the group dynamics, it is concerned with the interactions of forces among group members in a given social situation. So, when we critically examine this, then we realize that it refers to the social process. Group is a social process. Why we call it social process? Because people, those are the part of the society, the individuals, they are the member, as well as people interact with the group. Influence of personality, power, behavior. And when we talk about the group dynamics, we have to study, or one of the important feature is to know about how group forms, how they function, and how they are relevant to the formal and informal groups. A question may come into your mind, and you might also realize sometime when you have joined the institute or the university institution at the very first time. जब आप पहली बार कॉलेज या यूनिवर्सिटी गए थे, तो आपने दोस्तों के ग्रुप को कैसे ज्वाइन किया? What was the reason? So if we pointed out all these reasons, then we realize that when was the sense of security. Sometime what happened, because I'm alone, I'm staying alone, and there are students, those are from the same hostel, so let me be the part of this group. Second, sometime it happens, so happen when because of the status symbol you join a particular group, and it so happen when you are working in the business and then you join some Rotary or Lions or something like that. Then because of power also, sometime person join a particular group. Then the goal achievement, the people, they are interested to achieve the target or the goal, And sometime it so happen when they are into the business organization, they join a particular group. Similarly, while they are into the social life or political life or religion life, so in each of this segment, they join a particular group because of the achievement of their goal. So very simple, when we talk about the goal and the organization, there can be two type of organizations. One is called as the formal organization, where all the norms are formal, rules are well defined, and the informal organization. So when we talk about this formal organization, there are different type of the formal organization. One is called the command organization, as the term sound, command, where specific norms are there, special protocols are there, well defined superior subordinate relationship are there. So when we talk about this command organization, it's an example can be of the armed forces. Even in the educational institute, you might have seen there may be a principal or the director of the institute, there may be HOD, and then you would find the hierarchy is there, or the faculty members are there. So this is what we call the command group. Then there is another group called the task group, where all the members, they are working together to achieve a particular task, and that task may be short term. So a specific task may be there, say for launching of a product, or sometime, where the time limit is there, you are holding or you are organizing an event. So a particular task is there. The moment that task is over, then the group activities may get closed. So the task group are basically temporary group, or they are concerned with the particular task. And the third category of the formal group, is the functional groups. Functional group are those are they don't have the particular time frame. Like in the task group, there was a time frame, whereas when we talk about the functional group, they are working on the basis of the specific function. And when we talk about this specific function, they are working continuously to achieving those current goals. And it does not mean that the moment they have achieved a particular goal, their life is over. No, it is on continuous basis, and they are involved in a particular function. Like for example, example is like for the marketing department, or HR department, or a production department in an organization. So such group you will find called the functional group. So in nutshell manner, again we can say there are three type of formal groups. One is called the command group, second one is the task group, and third one is the functional group. So when we talk about the informal group, informal, where there are no specific protocol. In fact, most of us are the part of the informal groups. And of course, formally you are representing a particular group, even in your studies also, undergraduate program or the postgraduate program. Like one of you may be from MBA first semester or second semester, or section A or section B. But what we have observed, that the informal groups also play an important role, and sometime person or a manager may get the desired results while he's trying to encash, or he has a proper understanding about the informal groups also, because informal group play an important role, and sometimes this grapevine communication also play an important role so far as the functioning of a particular group is concerned. So one is called interest group, where there is a common interest, and because of the common interest, people may come together. Like one boy is from one section, another boy is from another section, or one maybe from one class. It's not necessary that all the people those are working in the interest group, they are from the same organization. They may be from different organization, they may be from the different groups. Similarly, second group is called friendship group. Friendship group, as the term sound, where we have the friendship, means the social activity, and after office hours, we generally develop the friends. And the third one is called the reference group. Reference groups are those group where the particular norms are applicable to everyone. And there is a strong influence on the group members. You might have seen sometime, you belong to a Radha Swami Sampradaya, or you are from the Nirankari sect, or especially the religious group, they are called the reference group where the norms are applicable to all the members. So when we talk about Hindus, or when we talk about the Muslims, or when we talk about the Christianity, Jainism, Buddhism, so on. So these are called the reference group. So obviously a question may come into your mind that why the people join the informal groups. Of course, because they are working together, and they want to come together. That's maybe one of the reason. And they are working in a particular organization, or they are particular office, and because they are working together, so even after the working hours they wishes to join each one of them after office hours also. So, or there can be the same common interest, or the common values may be there, and sometimes because of the need satisfaction they wishes to come to join the hand. And sometime because of the removal of monotony, or because of the common welfare, the people wishes to join the they wishes to join the informal groups. So as a businessman or as a business manager, I must have the knowledge about my group, not only the formal group but informal group also. So dear friends, the intention of a manager is to convert this group into a team. As the term sound, team has more cohesiveness. Their relations are very strong. It's like cricket team, or the soccer team, or or the hockey team, where the people are very much closely working, and they wishes to achieve to the target given by or set by the organization for the particular group. So when we talk about the team building, as a business manager, I must have the knowledge about the team building also, and we should apply those important C's we generally call 8 C's of team building. There are certain eight activities. Those start with the C, like clear expectations. So each member of the group has to be conveyed that what we are expecting. So that should be conveyed to everyone in a proper manner, like commitment. So people should work like in football match. You might have seen the goalkeeper, or the person who is looking after the back side, or left hand side, or right hand side, or center forward, and also. And so commitment and competency also. There should be have the skill and knowledge about a particular thing, so they should be competent enough. So third one is the competency, and fourth one is the control. So sometime what happened, the captain of the team, he control the people, and sometime you might have seen out of the team there is a manager and coach sitting away from the team, and he's just passing the issuing the instructions and controlling the group. Sometime there is another C, which is called collaboration. So people should have the collaborative effort, only then they can achieve the target. Another one is called communication. So proper communication should be there. There should not be any miscommunication or communication ambiguity. As well as the creativity. The creativity says that people should be innovative. Like you are playing the football, and because of the creativity, Messi is known everywhere, because the moment he play the game, competitors, they do not know how he will manage the ball, and he manages the ball in such a unique manner that is so creative. He just convert that ball into the goal. So that creativity is also important, and the coordination. So in a nutshell manner, when we call about the 8 C's of team building, because the basic intention is to develop a team. So this consists of 8 C's. One is clear explanation or expectation. First one is the clear expectation, then commitment is second one, third one is the competency, fourth one is the control, fifth one is the collaboration, sixth one is the proper communication, seventh one is the creativity, and eighth is called the coordination. Dear students, in the tourism also, when you are working in the travel agency or tour operation unit, you should have the knowledge about the groups those are working in your organization. At the same time, you should be also well aware what are the informal groups those are working in your organization, those are prevailing in your organization, as well as your intention should be to convert these groups into the team. And for team, you should be well aware that, as we discussed, that group cohesiveness should be there. In comparison to the formal group, the group cohesiveness would be more in the team. And as a manager, our target should be to convert these members of the group into the team. So the team spirit should prevail into the group. Dear friends, when we talk about the groups, there are certain stages how the groups are developed. So, before this, we wish to know and we wish to discuss the assumptions when we talk about the group development or the group formation. So, the very first assumption is that individuals are social animal when we talk about the group development, because social animal means people wishes to discuss, wishes to speak with each other, because they are the part of the society and they wishes to develop their relation. They cannot stay alone, and that's the most important thing, and wishes to join groups. Therefore, because they are social animals, they wish to work together, and therefore they join the groups. And you know third assumption is that they must have the strong sense of belongingness when they join a particular group. And this is what another assumption is, that changes in the group may take place, and simultaneously so many changes are taking place. So as a human being, obviously they resist the change. So, and each group must be having certain protocol, certain rules, regulation, certain adjustment, so many things should be there in the group. And group survives because they it's depend upon the hierarchy and their functioning. And the last assumption is that group member participation is essential when we talk about the group development. So, dear friends, when further we analyze the group development, because as a manager, we must have the clear idea that what are the different aspects or the stages or the steps, those are concerned with the group formation. So, generally, we categorize them into the 5 parts. One is called the formation. Formation is generally called the orientation also. Second one is the storming, as the term sound is storm, where the like tufan aa raha hai. So that we will discuss. Third one is the norming, and fourth one is performing, and fifth one is the adjourning. So these are the 5 stages. One is forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjoining. So the very first one is the orientation or the forming. People wishes to join a group, and this is the very first stage where the person initially have a hitch to enter, but even then he joined the group. And the reason is because he wishes to know each other. He established the structures. There are certain established structure, rules, communication, network, leadership will be there, responsibility will be there, authority would be there. So these are certain feature when we talk about the forming of a group. This is the initial stage. The moment a person, an individual, enter after forming, then there will be the second stage called storming. As the term sound is storming, here the important feature are dealing with tensions, because the new member is coming, rest of the member may not like to join him, even he may not also be comfortable with the group norms, and defending. All these are this stage is basically called the interpersonal problem solving. First one is the orientation, and storming is concerned with the interpersonal problem solving. So under this stage, you will find that a particular climate is there among the member, group tasks are there, interpersonal conflicts may be there. So all these are the important features. जब आप एक कोई नए ग्रुप को ज्वाइन करते हो तो आपको मालूम है यार ये बॉस है, ये इसके साथ का, ये क्लोज है, तो ये तो हुआ फॉर्मिंग स्टेज। और स्टॉर्मिंग स्टेज में जब आप जाते हो, जब आप ग्रुप को ज्वाइन करते हो, तो शुरू में थोड़े से लोग, दे आर नॉट, पीपल आर नॉट वेरी कंफर्टेबल, देयर मे बी इनिशियल कन्फ्लिक्ट ऑल्सो, पीपल they don't like some of them to you. So this may be the situation you may face when you have joined a particular group. And another one is called the norming. As the term sound, that norming means now there are certain features, those are very important and interesting, like building relationship and working together. Once the when you enter into the group, storming, you have faced the storming, you have so many issues which you have finally managed, and now you are comfortable to work. So you have developed the relation, now you are working together, there is resolution are there, and there the issues have been settled down, social agreement is there, as well as established group norms also. So you are participating in all these things called the norming. So next one is when we talk about the fourth one is called the performing, and the term sound performing. Once the everything is settled down, then as an employee of the organization or as a member of that particular group, now you are matured enough in relationship, in the development of the task performance. You are working on a mutual assistance and creating understanding, goals and roles. So you are performing, and then there will be the outcome. So forming, storming, norming, and performing. And the last one is called the adjourning. Adjourning means once the goal or target have achieved, then there will be disbanding, there will be closure, there will be ceremonies because you have achieved that target and all that. So all these are the 5 important stages when we talk about the group formation or the stages of the group development. Dear friends, a question may come into your mind, so that in travel business or tourism business, how these are important. The knowledge of group formation, as well as a tour manager or as a travel agent, when you are handling the tourist, what are those important aspects? So there are 3 important theories related to the groups when we talk about the group development, and these theories passes different important aspect. One is called the classical theory, and as per the classical theory, group development based upon the activities, interaction, sentiments, and same attitude towards each other. So this is the classic theory which says why people join a group, because they love to interact with each other, they wishes to have in case they wishes to have their sentiments towards another person, and therefore they join the group. And second theory is called the social exchange theory. As per this social exchange theory, the relationships are there, mutual benefits are there, and because of the exchange of relationship, they attract the people to join the group. And third one is called the social identity theory. And as per the social identity theory, individuals tend to have the sense of identity, and this demographic, social, cultural, there may be different aspects. Demographic means we are from a particular age, or we are from the male side, or we are from the female side, or we are from a particular educational institute, we are from a particular profession like chartered accountant or travel or tour operator or the tour guide. Or cultural, we are from a particular dance group, we are from a particular state, or we are from particular religion or a sect. So as a manager, as a tour manager, while we are handling tourists, we should understand that who are they? Who are they means, are they from a specific community or from a particular region? So what happened initially when they are coming to your destination? They are a stranger, but slowly in the next 2 days, even after 1 hour, you will find slowly they are developing the groups. So you must have the solid knowledge that why they are interested to be the part of a group, and are these groups are formal or informal. If these are formal group, what are those interesting things because of which they become the part of that group? Or as we have discussed the different category of the informal group, that how they become and what is the intention of them, or what do they have the intention, what's the reason behind joining a group. Because as a manager you have to provide those important thing is you have to provide those stimuli so that their satisfaction level may reach to a particular height, so that they may be satisfied, and as a customer they may be happy. So because of all these things, as a tour manager or as a travel agent or as a tour guide, while you are handling the tourist, you should have the clear idea about the meaning of the group dynamics. Because sometime what happen in each organization, there may be several groups. Even when you find a group of tourists, a large group of tourists, you will find the small groups have been formed, and some of them are formal groups and some of them are informal groups, and these groups behave in a particular manner. So as a business manager or as a tour manager or as a tour leader or as a tour escort or as a tour guide, you should have a fair idea about the handling of such formal and informal groups to achieve the target of your organization. I hope the things are clear to you. Wishing you all the best. May God bless you.